So how do you find a niche for a product to sell in? I think a lot of people get this very wrong and look at all these criteria of niches, whether you want to sell on Amazon FBA, whether you want to sell dropshipping products or selling products on a Shopify store. How do you pick a niche? How most people go at it is say, okay, what is a niche that has no competition, that has super high demand, that I can launch easily and then make a lot of sales quickly. And the problem with all of that is that you have so many thoughts about yourself. You go at it with all these selfish thoughts of, I want to make a lot of money really quick, really easy. Okay. That's not usually how it works. Okay. Because the niche consists of people that you want to serve. Okay. Your niche, your product categories, that in the end of the day, it's people that you are helping with your products. Each of the person that buys your products, you can imagine them all to be on a journey, whether that's weight loss. So the person wants to go where they are now to less weight, right? So the person is on a journey, and the product that you deliver him is a product that helps them on their way. Does that make sense? So if you're thinking about niches, then what I found to be the most effective is to niche down as much as possible. And a lot of people say, well, if you niche down too much, if you get too narrow on your targeting, then there are not enough people left to sell to. And I 100% disagree with that. There are so many more people in this world than you can imagine that fit your niche, sub-niche and sub-niche that you can imagine. There are so many people that you could serve and sell to. Also, you have to think about the niche that you're choosing as something long-term. It is not something where you say, right now, I think this is a great niche, so I'm going to go in there. And you put all your efforts on that niche until the trend is gone, and then you pick the next thing, and then you go in that, and then you pick the next thing, and you go in that. Or it actually takes more effort to start building out your offers for a niche, to start selling a product, to start figuring out the right sales message, to start ranking your products, to start, drop shipping your products. It takes actually so much more effort to do that than just growing what you already have and continue to serve your audience and your niche with future products, or selling them the products again that you already sold them, or, giving them value in the future that they can pay you for again. That is so simple and so easy to do that as soon as you have a buyer, to then sell them again and again and again. That is where you should put the effort on. When you're starting this, now you have the only way that you can see is, how can I make $3,000 a month in profit so that I can quit my job, right? You have to think beyond that. You have to think about that with the end in mind. If the end in mind for you is to build a brand that you could sell in the future, or to build a brand where you have multiple products offers to serve that niche, that is the end goal, then this is where you have to start. Then you have to start in the right niche, right? So if you really love to sell people that use reusable products, that, take care of the environment and all of that kind of stuff, then you don't want to start selling, something else in the beginning. You don't want to sell pet food first, because right now it's trending or whatever. It is so easy to pick the right niche if you know who you want to sell to. Don't pick a niche based on what you think is the best market, what you think has least competition, what you think has fewest reviews. The Amazon marketplace, by the way, changes on monthly basis. Okay, just because it's a great niche now, it doesn't mean it's a great niche in 5 months or in 2 months or next week. Okay, so you really want to look at that with a long-term perspective of, who is the person that I continuously want to sell to. So the easiest way of finding who's your niche is to look at yourself. What are your hobbies? What are you passionate about? Because that really gets you in the right direction of who you want to sell later. Because eventually you're going to have to communicate with more people, even if it's e-commerce and even if it's all online and unpersonal, you're going to have to deal with this kind of person on a daily basis. Think about the person that you could hang out in a room with for a week and would be least annoyed of. I would say that you would love to hang out for a week and you would talk nonstop, but usually after a week that doesn't happen. So what person would you be least annoyed of hanging out in one room? And what would you speak about? So if I'm passionate about triathlon and running and cycling and swimming, I would want to be in a room with that kind of person so that I could speak with them all the time, that we could speak about different products, about different techniques, about different things in that space. That can become your target customer. That can become your niche. So that would be your niche, triathletes. But where you want to go is you want to go much, much further. You don't want to stop at, I want to sell to triathletes. You want to think about who is the person behind that you can sell to. For example, you want to serve people that do triathlon. That can be the 20-year-old that's just starting. That can be the 50-year-old who's running professional triathlons every year, who has done several Ironmans already. It can be the 50-year-old, the 20-year-old, 30-year-old, the 80-year-old, though that niche might be too small. But you get my point here, right? So you want to niche down into, because each of these people is going to have different challenges on their way. But whether your niche is in the kitchen, it can be, the 20-year-old in the kitchen who just moves into their first apartment, the 30-year-old who just bought their first house. All of these are buying the same items, but in a completely different form. So the 20-year-old, they need a kitchen table, but they're going to be buying a very different kitchen table that the 50-year-old is going to be buying, or the 30-year-old is going to be buying. Then it depends on the values. What value does that person have? Do they value design? Do they value reusability? Do they value ease of use? Do they value, price? What is the value for your customer? What is it that your niche is all about? So one of the easiest way that you can find that out is just asking why a few times. Oh, my person want to buy a kitchen knife. Why? Oh, because they want to, cut avocados. Why? Because they want to have a healthier lifestyle, and if they put out avocados, their family is going to be impressed because they have, a new dish to serve. Why is that important to them? Oh, well, they want to feel important. They want to feel like they can take care of the family, and they want to feel like family likes their food and all that. You see how we're going down the rabbit hole into really now feelings and challenges and emotions. All of that is so important that at least once you have the idea of that, because that will help you so much to then find products later once you have your niche. So if you're thinking about who's the person right now, think about it. What hobbies do you have? What passions do you have? I guarantee you it's going to be more than one thing, right? So just go through all of those things and think about it, and what niche would you like to sell your products to? Who would you like to sell products to? In which niche could you just be 24/7 and you'd be not feeling like you're working in that, but you get to work in that niche? So that is where you want to go. You want to find out exactly who is the customer in that niche. How do they look like? What are their fears? What are their challenges? All of that kind of stuff, so that you really understand the customer, really understand where they're coming from, really know why they buy the products you could offer in the future. And based on that, you can choose the niche that you really like, because it's going to be much easier for you if you're confused now to say, well, which one do I choose? Because I could do the sport thing, I could do the kitchen thing, do the kids niche, because I have kids, I'm passionate about that. Once you put together and you ask yourself the questions about each of these different spaces and people in the space, you're going to find out that it's so much easier for you to do that for the one than for the other. That immediately, if you speak about the kids space, you're going to be, coming up with so many ideas. It's going to be so easy for you to define values and fears and challenges in that space for people than it is in others. So you can just build that out for multiple, let's say, customer avatars. And based on that, you can see what niche you feel best to sell in. Go away from what products work best on Amazon. Go away what's the latest trending product on Shopify that I can dropship. Go away from that. If you think long term, niches are changing, places are changing. Okay, so you don't want to be reliant on Amazon anyway. But that's a topic for another session with me here anyway. But what you want to think about is the long term play. If you could build a brand, who would that brand serve? That is the niche that you pick. I hope that was helpful. Let me know in the comments if that makes sense to you, or if you completely disagree with it and say, hey, look, I don't care what niche it is in long term. I want to make money right now. And, if that's the trending product, then that is where I want to go into, because that's where the money is at. And if I niche it down too much, then, maybe there are not enough people to serve. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I will discuss that with you there, and catch you tomorrow in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because we have so many more knowledge bombs that we're going to be dropping over the next days and weeks, and hopefully years to come. So make sure you join the Easy Peasy Ecom family, and I catch you tomorrow.